clear why I voted the way I did, which is somewhat unusual. I think that's the first time in over a year that I voted. It's not because I think the traffic pattern on Cypress Street is so wonderful, because quite frankly, I happen to be one of those people that goes up Main Street and look, because I go to park once and fairly often, and when I can't find a parking space, I then get up to Cypress Street and discover I can't get back. I'm stuck. I've got to go all the way around the common to get back to find a place to park. So I'm not in love with the traffic pattern the way it is right now. However, I'm also aware that there is that the food co-op is currently being built. That there is discussion about the possibility of a parking garage, and there is discussion about the possibility of further housing being built in the Eagle Court and Cypress Street area. If those are in fact built, then I think that's the appropriate time for us to relook at the traffic patterns and decide what in fact is the most appropriate traffic pattern on Cypress Street and Eagle Court. You know, I tend to agree with those people that indicated that perhaps changing it this year and then changing it a couple of years from now perhaps does not make a lot of sense. But I do think that is an area where there is few current activity taking place, and when that activity has been completed, that it does need to have somebody take a look at it. Councilor Curran.
Thank you, Ron. I agree with you 100%. I just think we need to slow down, let the co-op get on its feet, get open. We'll be that much closer to a greater discussion about parking in downtown. We'll be able to see what happens, what the patterns are, where people are parking and aren't parking. I have a funny feeling that once that does open up, it's going to be like a floodgate. There's going to be a lot of activity back there. So I just think that we need to slow down, give it some time, but at some point, we'll hear the discussion of the business owners, and if that's what they feel at that point, we should do it. Thank you.
Any Councilor Duffy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just in case anyone was wondering, I am going to vote for this motion, but I agree. I just want to agree with Councilor Greenwald's assessment. Things are going to change. Who knows? The area between Railroad Street and Eagle Court may be a pedestrian mall. Who knows? We have enough parking, surface parking, or structured parking on the outside. That may be a reality as well, and we won't have to worry about the spaces in front of each store, which seems to be at the heart of this issue in many ways.
Further discussion? Seeing none, are you ready for a vote? All those in favor of the committee report, please raise your...
No.
Wait.
Want to read motion again?
Yeah, maybe you better read the motion just so everybody understands.
Sure.
So on a vote of 4 to 1, the Municipal Services Facility and Infrastructure Committee recommends keeping traffic as it presently exists in a one-way westerly direction on Cypress Street.
And that is the motion for, sorry. All those in favor? Opposed? 3 opposed, the motion carries. Okay, further reports. No, I guess that was the last one. All right. I said yeah. This goes to you.
Well, thank you, Your Honor. I was going to talk a little bit about the preparation that the Public Works Department and other departments across the city made for a storm as significant as the storm that seems to be coming our way, the perfect storm. And generally, the perfect storm means that there's several storms that are going to pump a tremendous amount of moisture, in this particular case, snow, over New England and the city of Keene. But our crews get out there, and the first thing they do is they prep the roads prior to uses of chemical and what have you. They split the crews into several different work groups so that they have a continuous presence. Once the snowfall has been completed, and they begin then to finish up all the roads that they've been working on to remove the snow from the parking lots and also tackle the sidewalks. It takes a certain number of resources, particularly human resources. So we can't do it with just the Public Works crew anymore. We use people from Parks and Rec, from the airport department, from the cemetery, etc. So we use people from across the city organization. We use seasonal help, etc. And that has enabled the Public Works Department to get a very big job done from time to time. We've been lucky these last several years. We haven't had a fairly large amount of snow. So this might be one of those big storms. We're hoping that it's not one of those that has like 1978 proportions to it. Those of us that remember the storms of '78. But nevertheless, we're ready to go. We've got our forces ready to go, and so hopefully we'll have few complaints and we'll have the storm cleaned up very quickly.
Thank you. Then we have a report.
We have a memorandum from the city manager regarding an update for the May 2012 flood response.
And this will be referred to the Municipal Services Finance and Infrastructure Committee.
And we do have a report for a memorandum from the planning director regarding ordinance 2012-07A related to the surface water protection overlay district.
And this will be referred to the Planning Licenses and Development Committee, and a public hearing will be set for March 21st at 7 p.m. More time will be granted to item D1 and D2. And quarterly reports.
We have the fourth quarter attendance reports for MSFI, PLD, and the FOP committees.
And these will be filed. Then we go to ordinances for second reading.
Yep, and we have an ordinance 2012-21A relating to purchasing. On a vote of 4-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends adoption of ordinance 2012-21A. And we have ordinance 2012-21A, an ordinance relating to purchasing procedures introduced by Councilor Greenwald.
And we will file the memorandum, and Council Greenwald for a motion.
Your Honor, I would move the adoption of ordinance 2012-21A.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Council Greenwald.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is the second time coming through, sent back to committee, and a number of provisions were made. This deals with how we let contracts for repetitive work on city facilities and equipment. Very often, let's say, an air conditioner is to be repaired. As it's being repaired and gone through, then it's discovered how much work is needed. And to stop the work, to go out for bid, would be totally ridiculous and very inefficient. Once a contractor has been determined to be a contractor of record, and this is one of the changes in this 21A version, this will make a contractor of record for a period of 2 years. Pre-screened, pre-qualified, the guy who's going to do the job without having to go out for bid every time. Is still going out for bid for projects. For purchases exceeding $20,000, the existing bid provisions will still remain in effect. So this change was at the request of Councilor Powers, who's not with us this evening, and this does answer his concerns, and at the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee, this was reviewed, and this is a good thing, and hope that you will all vote in favor. Thank you.
Are there any further questions or comments? If not, this requires a roll call. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Roberts.
Yes.
Councilor Preacham.
Yes.
Councilor Duffy.
Yes.
Councilor Donegan.
Yes.
Councilor Jacobs.
Yes.
Councilor Manwaring.
Yes.
Councilor Richards.
Yes.
Councilor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Councilor Nieder.
Yes.
Councilor Vancia.
Yes.
Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Councilor Greenwald.
Yes.
It's adopted unanimously. That concludes our regular business. Councilor Greenwald for a motion.
I don't have the, going into,
Moving to adjourn for legal advice.
move to adjourn for legal advice.
Second.
It's been moved